Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Casually Fed Podcast. My name is Rob. Thank you for coming by today. It is Wednesday. We are in the middle of the week. Get excited. We got a holiday coming up as well to honor the fallen and to also take a little break, right? We can all use a little break, and that's what we got going on. So hopefully your day is going well. I've got some exciting things to talk to you about today. Last week, I got into what I thought the best diet for you would be if you're trying to lose weight. If you're wondering about that, just go check out episode 36 I did last week, and you can go ahead and figure out what I was saying. You can go, you can go ahead and listen to what I laid out for you last week. Now, this week I wanted to just go over some exercises. I just wanted to pinpoint just a couple areas that you can focus on if you're trying to lose weight. I know when it comes to trying to lose weight, weight loss, all of that, it can get pretty, a lot of things can pile up, right? It can get pretty confusing when you have a bunch of people telling you, what to do and how they have the correct way to do it. And there's, hundreds of different people who think that they have the exact correct way to do it. My idea on it is that their ways more than likely work, right, for whatever they're saying it's going to do. But as far as it being the number one thing that you should do and you should forget about the rest, I don't think that's really the case. So I think a more broad way to look at things might be best for some people, right? If you don't want to commit to one thing yet, if you're just beginning, you're just trying to lose some weight, if you haven't used your body in a while, you really got to get comfortable using it. So I think taking a more broad approach in the beginning might be best. So I just wanted to, broadly go over a few things and how they can benefit you. Of course, want to get into the Fit Fire of the Week, show you somebody that has been losing weight. The person this week has lost over 170 pounds, which is great. I'm seeing more people that are losing considerable amount of weight. When you're losing 150, 170 pounds, 200 pounds in some cases. I mean, again, there's a huge story there, and there's just a mine of great information that you can go digging up. So I'm going to get into that. Also, got the Fit Freak of the Week. Somebody, I want to show you somebody who is pushing their body to the limit, somebody that's very interested in it and is able to apply certain things, whether that be athleticism, strength, flexibility. Usually the Fit Freak of the Week for me is going to be somebody who exhibits all those characteristics, and this week is no exception. Have a great person to show you just so you can see what's going on the other side of the spectrum, and you can see what's kind of possible with the human body, and I think that's fascinating. So I'm going to get into that. As far as myself, before I get into any of that, nothing really crazy going on other than just working, trying to come here, bring you some great things. I released a video this last Monday. Go ahead and check that out. And yeah, other than that, a few weeks ago, I ate it real big on my electric skateboard. And, right before I was going on a surf trip, not like a surf, drive, like surf trip is like, in San Diego, you can go to go to dozens of beach breaks in like 15 minutes or less, sometimes 5 minutes away. You can just jump out there and go surf. So a surf trip to me, it's like mini trip. It's to drive like an hour or so, right? And I was about to drive, which I don't do often. Me and my buddy were about to drive an hour or so the next day to go surfing in some great waves. My back was feeling healthy. I was feeling healthy. I was feeling great, and I'm just excited to go and do that. And the day before, just ate it on my electric skateboard. The wounds were pretty deep. Here I am 3 weeks later, and they're not, totally closed up yet. So if that gives you an idea. So I thought, even though I almost just plastered a bunch of liquid Band-Aid on it, I thought it would probably be best to take at least a week off, which I did. And yeah, so thankfully that's all pretty much done. I went surfing a week later, and then a couple weeks later, and then now, I'm back to regular surfing. Now the only issue that I have to worry about is a knee injury that is going to happen probably at any day now, and my lingering back issues. So it's all the way up from here. But yeah, I am surfing more, so I'm excited about that. I'm going to go surfing tomorrow, and to live in San Diego, it costs a lot to live here. Taxes, you got all this, the restrictions, all these things. What keeps me here 100% is the weather, the beach, the ocean, and surfing. So I really dig that. And that's all that's really going on. Just working, surfing, trying to have fun, trying to, bring out some more things. Possibly, not really possibly. It's just when I won't even announce it, Don't even worry about that. But let's get into the Fit Freak of the Week, okay? Again, somebody here, if you're watching or if you're listening to this on the Apples or Stitcher or Spotify, whatever you choose, if you want to see who I'm talking about, you can go ahead and you can go ahead on YouTube, and I have the video version of this podcast. Or as you're listening to me, you can pull up Instagram and go to Get Fit with Jessica, but the with is just a W. So go to @GetFitWJessica. Wow, I didn't even realize, for me, she has almost 1 million followers. So maybe you already know about her. All right. For me, when I come here, I guess I'll give her a follow. Yeah. When I pick the Fit Fighter of the Week, I go on Instagram and I try to look up these hashtags and find people. Unfortunately, there's a lot of spam. I'm sure, you know this. If you're listening to this and you're trying to lose weight and you ever, posted some Instagram pictures and put up weight loss or whatever, there's just so much spam that's out there. So when I'm choosing a person, I'm rifling through so many different profiles. When I finally find somebody that's real and actually lost weight, I'm just stoked, and I just save it, which I did with this young lady, Jessica. She's 25 years old. She lost 170 pounds, and she says with portion control, right? So that's a caloric deficit. She ate well, and she ate less, and she exercised, and she lost 170 pounds. So that is, my computer's freezing up. So that's awesome. As you can see, if you're watching this, again, you can just pull it up on the old Instagram if you'd like to get a better look. Jessica, huge difference right here in this before and after picture. It seems like she has a website. She has a program that you can follow as well. She has a 1-month at-home program. She tells you, what you could be doing to lose the weight. And again, she is she lost that weight, which is huge. And she's 25 years old. You can see her now. Hold on. Looks like she's running on it's like a self-generating treadmill. I use it. I love it. Yeah, she's running on that. That thing's very difficult to run on and to keep a good pace like she's keeping. So, she's getting after it. Just imagine, she weighed 170 pounds heavier than what she is in these videos and pictures. So, again, she goes over a bunch of different things. So I would use that to your advantage. Go check her out if you didn't know already. Yeah, go check her out so you can, hold on. Sorry, just trying to get this. Yeah, check her out so you can get some useful information. Sorry, just dealing with the computer and it's freezing up and just irritates me so much. But yeah, other than that, let's move into these exercises. Okay, like I said, you're trying to lose weight. Look, there's so many different ways to go at it, right? There's so many different types of exercises, different types of workouts. You got people who just say, you got working out to where it's just only lifting heavy weights, only 5 rep max, and just heavy weight, right? You're only doing 5 reps, and maybe you're doing like 10 sets or something like that. And then you have exercising to where you're repping out 12, 10, 8, and 6 reps across all those different sets. Then you got extremely high repetition exercises as well, where you're doing 20 plus reps. And then you have, dumbbell, and you can apply that to dumbbells. You can apply that to weighted machines. You can apply that to barbells, kettlebells. You got HIIT exercises. You got the spin class. You got yoga. I mean, there's so many different things, right? In all, if you look at all of them, they're all great, right? Kettlebells and the CrossFit, there is a, and they hate it when you say this, but there is a pretty big risk there just because you're moving your body in some weird ways with weight. So people do get injured, so that is unfortunate. But if you're able to just build yourself up and learn how to have the proper technique, your risk for injury is probably about the same as if you're just to stick with barbells or dumbbells, right? If, again, technique and form is huge when it comes to all these things. But it's a net positive. All these things are a net positive. If it's telling you to get out and move around, other than some crazy things, which I can't even think of right now, it's going to be great for you, right? And to, kind of choose one, or to go from one to the other, and every time you switch over from CrossFit or your traditional kind of like bodybuilding type of exercises, there's a problem if you make that switch, and every time you make the switch, you think this is the answer, this is the absolute best way, this is the only way for weight loss. And yes, there's going to be some psychopath, cultist people within each one of these separate groups: the kettlebell group, the CrossFit group, the bodybuilder group, the powerlifter group. There's going to be some cultists in there that will tell you that their way is the best way, right? But these are cult members. So you got to notice that these are cult members, and they're trying to get more people into their cult because you're a new person. They're a little bit higher up in their weird mental hierarchy. So you got to watch out for those people. So they're going to hype up what they're doing way too much. Again, it's still going to be good, right? What they're doing still probably going to be pretty healthy for you. Powerlifting, maybe not. But it's generally going to be good, especially in the light of what you have been doing before, which is, for most overweight people, it's typically nothing, right? It is what it is, right? You don't have to feel bad about it. That's just how it was. So when you're going from that to something else, you're generally heading in the right direction. However, I think there are some pitfalls if you pick one specific one and you go off it. For some people it's going to be great, right? But I think there's like one thing, it's kind of weird, and maybe this is just the weird way that I look at it, and I'm I'm lighthearted about this. It's kind of in a joking manner, but I see something that is pretty prevalent. It's just different, right? You have people who are trying to lose weight, and typically, if you're somebody who maybe your usual weight should be like 170 pounds or something like that, and you're at around 300 pounds, the typical notion is that your legs and your strength is actually very high because your legs are carrying around that weight every single day. Even if you're not doing a lot, you're still moving around 300 pounds. So the average strength of somebody trying to lose weight in their legs and their lower body, seems to be pretty high, right? Because it just kind of makes sense. Now, what happens is people get into the gym and maybe they start talking to a few people or whatever it is, or maybe they're searching for a way maybe their ego is searching for a way for them to feel good about themselves while they're trying to lose weight, and they gravitate towards powerlifting. And, then you get into this zone to where it's not really about losing weight anymore. It's more of how much weight can you push up. I'll have to do like a whole podcast on powerlifting, because I like watching it. And I have no problems with the people who compete in powerlifting. They seem like great people. I'm not saying anything like that. But as far as like the damage it does to your body, and how it can detour somebody from losing weight, and the ramifications that can come from that, and stressing. I feel like a lot of it might be stressing the system a little bit too much with the power lifts. Our body's supposed to be pushing up that much weight, and the amount of food you need to take in to be a power lifter, and so that gets a little weird for me. And so that's where I think that if you focus in on something too much, you can fall into these kind of pits, right? Especially if you're trying to lose weight. And powerlifting, I think, is a good example, because again, you can go from like, I need to lose 170 pounds, and then and you can go through the whole battle of that, being like, oh, this is going to be a lot of work, it's going to suck. And then somebody says, hey, wait, hold on. You don't actually have to lose really any weight. And actually, at some point, I'm probably going to be telling you to gain some more weight so you can lift some more weight at the gym, right? If you're trying to be a powerlifting champion, I get it. If you're not trying to be a powerlifting champion, and you're just powerlifting, I get it, but I also don't get it, right? So that's an issue, and I telling you all of that to tell you the reason why I'm giving you these next exercises that are just broad. They're like evergreen almost. It's like no matter what you're doing, no matter what your goals are, you kind of, I wouldn't say they're all nice to haves. And when you're just starting to lose weight, when you're just starting to move around, I think these are just the go-to things to do. If you're not really concerned too much right now with a intense workout regimen that involves dumbbells and battle ropes and sleds and sprinting and doing all that, if you're not interested in that quite yet, and there's an argument maybe you don't even need to do that quite yet. This is all a building process. If you're looking for a foundation, right? If you're just looking to get in the gym and have something to do for a while that's going to give you a sweat, and something that's pretty repetitive, because the repetitive things can also help calm your mind, and you can get into, they call it kind of like the zone. You get into the zone if you're doing these things at low impact for long enough, and you get into the zone, and all of a sudden you just burned 800 calories and you feel great. And then you do it again the next day and you just keep going. And so that's what these next things are. So I'll just tell you them right now. If you're trying to lose weight, you should always go to these. I'm going to get into these just shortly. But one's air squats. Next is just jumping on the elliptical. Next is stationary bike, and then machine workouts, right? These are very broad things, right? And I'm going to tell you each little things about these that you can do, like sets and repetitions. But broadly speaking, these are going to help you lose weight. These are going to help you burn calories. They're going to help you become more familiar with your body again without having to have like a 10-pound dumbbell in your hand that you're swinging around trying to get familiar with your body. If that's maybe just too much, these exercises can be there for you to give you just a little bit less injury risk and just a little bit less to deal with, right? Just an easier barrier of entry, just an easier thing that you can just step over so you can get into the gym. You can start trying to lose weight. You can pretty much go in there and pick any of these things, do it for however long, right? You got to be reasonable and you're going to be kind of well off. But I'm going to get into a little bit more specifics, like air squats. Air squats are great for your lower body. It's also great for your core as well. And if you do enough of them, right? When I say air squats, I don't mean, I'm not talking 10 reps. I'm not even talking 20 reps. Yes, you will have to do maybe just 5 reps or maybe even just 3 repetitions and only a couple sets of 3 repetitions when you first begin. That might be where you're at when you first begin, but you're building up to what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is you need to build up to where you're doing, 50 repetitions or more, right? And you're doing several sets of 50 plus repetitions. You're really getting a burn on. And again, you're working that lower body, which again, your lower body should be relatively strong. And their high repetitions is to give you a sweat. It's to work out your muscles more. It's to give you a little bit more endurance, get you used to breathing in a different way, stressing out your cardiovascular system. So I think air squats are great for that. So as far as, I would suggest, like if you're to do a workout with air squats, I would suggest inserting it into some sort of circuit. Or maybe these 4 things could be a circuit for you. But I would suggest aiming for, 50 plus repetitions of air squats. 4 or 5 sets of those, right? Or more. That would be where I would be aiming for. And again, if you got to build up to it. If 50 is not enough for you, you need to go more, all right? One thing when you're trying to lose weight, if you have to lose a good amount of weight, you want to try to keep your skin as tight as you can. And one thing that seems to work is if you want to keep your skin as tight as you can while you're losing the weight, so there's not as much excess skin, high repetitions seems to be the best way to do it. One great example of that is if you go to David Goggins. Go to David Goggins and he has like 1 million pictures of himself with his shirt off. Go look at him now and then look at him how he was before. And there's no excess skin. And he attributes that to high repetitions. And he was doing hundreds of repetitions. He went crazy with it. So that's what I mean by air squats, about 50 repetitions, 4 or 5 sets. If you can throw that into a circuit court or a circuit or whatever, that's even better. If you just go to the gym to do that, or if you just do this at your house, great. It's a great building block. It's a great way to start. And that's why I give this to you, right? And also, if you just don't have time to go to the gym, but you want to get something, this is a great way to start. Next up is the elliptical, right? So elliptical, stationary bike, machine workout, so I'm about to talk about, requires a gym membership. I don't, for me, if you're trying to lose weight, you got to get a gym membership somewhere. Planet Fitness, 24-Hour Fitness, Crunch Fitness, LA Fitness, any of the fitnesses, they got any name plus fitness, you got to get a gym membership. They have everything there. They have the dumbbells, machine workout. They have everything for your body there. Even for recovery, when we're in full swing and we're not locked down, they got a sauna, which is great for recovery. They have a hot tub, which I'm not sure if there's any studies on the hot tub, but you do feel good, after you get done. You get a hard workout in, you go jump in the hot tub. It feels good, right? So they got stuff like that there at some of them. and it's just kind of a necessity, right? If you want to try to lose weight at home, great, you can. Again, that's a great building block, but I think at some point, just go out there, get a gym membership, right? You get to be around people, you get to talk to people, you make friends. And again, they just have everything there for like 40, 50 bucks a month, right? They give you so much for, 40, 50 bucks. And that's on like the higher end, right? Well, kind of like mid to high end. A lot of gyms, I think Planet Fitness only charges like 10 bucks or 5 bucks a month. So again, these other things I'm going to talk about, most of the time you're going to have to go to the gym to get these things. But the next thing is an elliptical. I think an elliptical is great. Well, first of all, I first started liking the elliptical just coming off of injury, just being injured with my back and being very limited to what I can do. And elliptical sometimes is a thing that I can do because it's very low impact on my body, and it is something that you can really push yourself to get a really good cardio workout in there, and that's why I think it's great, because if you they have ellipticals where you put your hands on the little levers. I don't do that, but I think it's great if you do. I mean, it just adds to the movement. So the more you can move, the better. And that's why I like the elliptical, because you're moving your legs, you're moving your arms, and you're engaging your core while you're doing it. So it's like this full body thing that you can do, and you can adjust the levels. You can literally be at a one level, right? And it's extremely, it's like you're in the air almost, right? There's not really any resistance, and you can do that for a pretty long time. So that's why it's a great place to start off from, because you can really start off from like not ever exercising, and then all of a sudden you can take off a lot of the weight, right? That comes with you exercising. So you can start working your system more. Like you can build a sweat on that thing and burn a bunch of calories on that thing with it not being so taxing and so difficult on yourself. So that's why I think an elliptical is great. If you can jump on an elliptical, again, building up process, right? But the goal should be to be on an elliptical going at a decent clip, meaning that you should start sweating, pretty early into it, maybe between 5 to 10 minutes, somewhere after 5 to 10 minutes of you being on that thing, you need to be sweating, right? You're not going out of control to where you're out of breath, but you need to be right at that level to where you have controlled breathing, your heart rate is up, and it is a little difficult to control your breathing, but you can keep on going. So you got to find that place. The best way to find it is just to build up from the bottom. So start off low and build up, but I would put it at, I don't want to give a number because I think maybe they all go up to 20. I'm not too sure. But you should be more than 25. You should be for sure more than 25% of that machine's capability, right? So, if it goes up to 20, you should be above a 5, right? And you should be on that thing for 30 to 60 plus minutes. If you go 60 plus minutes, that's a long time, right? But you're burning a bunch of calories that way. And if you can do it, great. But I would say somewhere around 30 to 60 minutes, above a 5, above 25%. And that should be a great thing for you, okay? Again, if you're trying to lose weight, right, that's going to help you lose weight. Because your cardio system and the way you breathe is very important, right? It's very important in your overall health. Switching from mouth breathing to nose breathing is very important, and being on an elliptical will pretty much help out with that. And it helps you burn some calories. You can burn, in like an hour's time, you can burn like 1,000 some calories. So it's a great way to burn some calories. And again, a great way to give you a good sweat. Because one thing that you kind of want to be in when you're trying to lose weight is you want to get into a sweat, and you want to stay in a sweat, and you want to just keep on keep on moving the body. You want to keep on pushing yourself. You're going to be going through this whole mental battle, like right around, you're going to hit it somewhere around 10 minutes of you being on the elliptical. Like, I kind of want to get off. Then you got to go through that hurdle, and maybe you get to cruise for another 10 or 20 minutes before that thought comes up again. And you got to cruise through that. So there's this whole mental process that goes into it, which is another ancillary benefit to being on elliptical. So that's another thing that you're seeking. And that's going to help you being able to push through while being aware, because you're going to be aware of your body, you're going to be sweating, and you're going to be pushing through these barriers. And this is going to help you in the other aspects of trying to lose weight. That's going to, you can, if you want to, you can use that same logic and you can apply that to your diet, right? Like, well, I kind of want to eat this sugary dessert, but I just got to get past this. I'm not going to eat this sugary dessert. And then you cruise past it, and then the next night that you're at dinner, you don't even think about it. But then the next night comes up, and you're like, oh, well, I got to go through this hurdle again. And one way that you can, kind of manipulate your mind is by doing that through exercising, because your body and your mind's going to tell you to stop, and how you deal with that can really help you out. So elliptical, great exercise, losing weight. The next is a stationary bike, right? Running is my go-to. I think running is great. But of course, if you're 150 pounds heavier than what, the standards are, whatever, and I'm not trying to get into the standards or anything like that, but just using it as a reference. If you're significantly overweight, running is for sure out of the question. Jogging's kind of out of the question, and I would say you shouldn't even go towards that. You should be going towards these low impact machines that you can just jump on. They're low impact for you. You're not going to ruin your knees. You're not going to do any of that. You're not going to get injured. Well, I'm not saying you have a very low risk of being injured on these machines. I think these are the things that you should be going to if you're trying to lose weight. So if you can incorporate an elliptical and a stationary bike routine, that would be great. Treat the stationary bike the same way I was talking about the elliptical, where you just jump on there for a little bit. You're using more than 25% of the machine's capability, and you just keep on raising it up, right? You keep on raising up the numbers. You keep on raising up the time. Like for some people, you might jump on there and you might be at a 2 and you can only go on there for 2 minutes. That's fine. All right. That's whatever. Come back the next day and maybe again, you're at a 2 for only 20 minutes. Keep coming back. And more than likely what's going to happen a week to 2 weeks later, maybe you jump up to a 3 and you can go 5 minutes, right? And, and it just keeps going from there. But the goal should always be to be able to stay on that thing at a good clip for 30 to 60 minutes. And if you can do that, then you're just going to be burning calories and you're going to be losing weight. And to spice up your workouts, right? One day you do elliptical, another day you do the stationary bike, right? So you can spice it up that way. You get a different feel of things and you're still getting a great workout in, all right? So that's the stationary bike. Again, one thing that you can always go to if you're trying to lose weight. Just jump on that thing. Next thing is machine workouts. Machine workouts is very broad, but what machine workouts isn't is it's not kettlebells and it's not dumbbells. Yeah, I don't have anything against kettlebells or dumbbells. I like them. I love them. But I think that building some sort of a foundation is probably best for you if you're trying to lose weight. And dumbbells can get a little hectic for some people, right? Kettlebells can get a little hectic for some people. And the machine workouts just kind of get you more familiar with your body in a more controlled way, to where you're not... one thing with dumbbells that people love, why they use them, is because you're not just working out your primary muscle groups, you're also working out all the other secondary muscle groups that are in your stabilizer muscles, which is great. You have to like graduate up to dumbbells, so you are getting more than just the main muscle group. You're also getting the stabilizer muscle groups. But when you're in the beginning, that's important, right? But it's not as important. You getting familiar with your body is better for you, so when you go to pick up that dumbbell, it's not like you go, the last 5 years of never exercising to now you're picking up a dumbbell and you're trying to move it around, trying to figure out the right technique, and you're doing all of that. You're not trying to do that. Instead, you went 5 years without exercising, and then you spent 2 or 3 months just doing machine workouts, right? So you've been actually moving your body with weight, and now you're picking up a dumbbell to start targeting your stabilizer muscles as well. So that, I believe that's going to give you a less likely chance of getting an injury is by doing that. And again, it gets you more familiar with your body, and you can also get a pretty low weight on that thing, like on any machine workout, right? Whether it's a chest machine workout, whether it's a bicep machine workout, tricep machine workout, a core exercise workout, whether it's the leg press machine on there. Since you have the stability, right? It's not dumbbells. Since you have the stability, you can actually do high repetitions with moderate weight relatively safely. You can really push yourself to failure on machines, which I think gives you a great workout. And again, if you're trying to build some muscle, right, which you're trying to do if you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to reduce your weight, right, but you're also trying to gain some muscle. You're trying to gain some strength, which is just going to happen when you're doing these things. And so these machine workouts, I think, are going to be great for you if you're doing these things. Now, if I was to put this all in like a package, like if I was to make a workout program for you, if you listen this far, maybe you're thinking, hey, Rob, I am going to do these things. I like these 4 things. So now what can I do? Well, one, you can go to my website. You can join the membership program, and I got a couple workout programs for you on there. Another thing that you can do is just listen to what I'm about to say. So if we're just to stick with these, I think a great workout plan for you that you can do every single day. I don't think, I think this is pretty much evergreen. Every single day you can go into the gym, and for the first 10 minutes of being in the gym, warm up your body by just jumping on the stationary bike for 10 minutes, right? And once you're done being on that stationary bike for 10 minutes, go and head to the machine workouts, right? You can break this up and only do like your chest and your biceps one day, maybe your back and your triceps another day, and your shoulders and legs another day. You can break it up that way, or you can just do 1 to 2 exercises per muscle group per chest. Like the main muscle groups are your chest area, right? Your arms, your shoulders, your core, and also your legs, right? So machine workouts target all of these. So, and to lose weight the best way, and to not create any imbalances for yourself, is to target all 5 of these areas in a relatively similar way, right? Like you don't do legs 4 days a week and then chest 1 day a week, right? You don't really try to offset. Well, for some people, right, I don't want to get into the gender thing, but for some people, you might not be doing chest that much, right? So maybe that's a bad example. But you don't want to be disproportionate, right? You want to work out all these muscle groups. So when I say machine workouts, you pick 1 or 2 exercises per one of these 5 things. If you do 2 exercises per muscle group, that's 10 exercises that you're doing in one single day. So that's like a lot. If you could just do less than that, if you could do, like if you're just doing your back for that day, you would do, or your back and your triceps for that day, You do two machine exercises, right? You can do the row or you can do the lat pull down machine for your back. So you do those two exercises, and then you also do the dip machine that they have, and also they have like the dip or the tricep extension machine, and that's your workout, right? So you start off with the stationary bike, then you do those those 4 workouts, and then once you're done with those 4 workouts, what I would say is to jump onto the elliptical for 30 to 60 minutes, and then end it with some core exercises and some air squats. And that's your workout plan. And I think that's a great way for you to become aware of your body, build a foundation with awareness and strength and technique with your body, which is super important for moving on with your weight loss and becoming fit, and importantly, staying fit. Those things are very important. So I think doing these things, the 4 things I just mentioned, is going to help with that. And yeah, maybe that was long and boring. I think it, I'm sorry about that if that was long and boring, but I think that these things are great. I love them, right? And again, this is simple, right? This is not CrossFit. This is not, I'm not telling you to pick up a barbell and, put it over your head and then squat with it and then, do all those things. I'm not telling you to pick up a kettlebell and swing it in between your legs and up over your head. I'm not, and comprising your entire workout that way, or, giving you some pads to hold and now you're a boxer. Again, all those things can be great for you. If you want to try any of those things, great. I think it's better to try them once you're at a little bit healthier weight. And I think one of the ways that you can get to a healthier weight is laying down the foundation by doing these 4 things that I just talked about today. But yeah, so if you link up the last podcast, episode 36, about your diet, and then this podcast, episode 37, this is just a general, very broad way to lose weight. Again, this is a casually fit podcast for one, right? You can be very specific with these things. You can get so specific when it comes to exercising and weight loss. And it has been very specific for so long. It's been ever since, people found out that they could make a workout program and sell it, everything got just the more specificity of things has increased so much over the past couple decades that you can literally find, I'm trying to think of some right now, but you can literally find a workout based on anything. Like they have yoga classes with goats now. The goats pee on you while you're doing yoga, but apparently, it's beneficial. But again, that thing is just trying to find people who are specifically into trying out something that has goats and yoga, right? It's very specific. And when it comes to these exercises, you can get that specific. And when you're trying to lose weight, it's just too far down, right? I think you need to zoom out a little bit, right? If you're trying to go somewhere, right? Let's say that you lived in New York City and you're trying to go to Los Angeles. Well, if you're trying to do that and you're trying to pull up Google Maps, you wouldn't just zoom in on Highway 8 that runs through Arizona or something. I don't know. Whatever highway, the Highway 395 that's in the middle of Ohio. You wouldn't just zoom in and just look at that piece of land and then be like, and that's the only thing you look at, right? And that's your map now. Right? Like, yeah, you will be on Highway 395, and it will be a good thing that you're on Highway 395. You will go through Ohio or whatever, but I'm not even sure if you do. Probably. But that doesn't help you get from New York to LA. That doesn't help, zooming in on one specific thing. Again, it can help you, can work. But the adherence to these things, it takes another level of discipline and another level of everything else, right? You're just compounding to the issue, I think. So if you zoom out and you just do this very broad air squat, hey, make sure you get into the gym, do some air squats, jump on the elliptical, get on the stationary bike, and do some machine workouts. If you do that consistently, day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, year over year, you will lose weight. That is not specific. I mean, that's specific, but it's also, when you compare it to these other things, that's very broad. But I think that's that larger view of getting you from New York to LA, where you see all the different states, you see all the different freeways that are going on. So that's the way I kind of look at it now. And again, my case for being less specific, because I know some people will be like, why are you, I mean, this is so broad. It's so useless. And I would argue that it's not at all. I would argue that everything has been very specific and it hasn't been working, right? I'm not saying it's the reason people don't lose weight, but I'm saying it could for sure be a reason why people don't stick with workout programs. Is because you got to do this, you got to do that, you got all these things separated out, and it's very rigid, and all of that. I would say that, again, that leads to success. That does, if you follow those things, you are more than likely going to lose weight, and it is more than likely going to work. But again, that can spin people off the whole weight loss program completely. Some people just don't like following really strict, rigid schedules. And if that's you, it's perfectly fine. You can be a little bit more broad with this, as long as you still show up and you still put out. But yeah, so that's what I think will help you lose weight. Let's move on to the Fit Freak of the Week. And this person is, again, Fit Freak of the Week is somebody who is just out there doing it, right? They are out there pushing their body. And this man is 40 years old, right? 40 years old. And he's an MMA fighter, MMA champion. He has won like 28 fights, or he has fought 28 times and won 26 of them. He's only lost twice. And some say he's 40 years old right now, and some say that he can go in right now and still win, which I'm a believer. And his name is George St. Pierre. If you go to Instagram, you go to the YouTube description, you can pull up the link, or if you just go Instagram and look up George St. Pierre, I believe he is from Canada. And as you can see, this dude is 40, got a six-pack, shooting hoops. He does, my computer's freezing, which is great. I went a long time without the screen recorder throws it off. Yeah, so computer's freezing right now. But yes, if you go to his Instagram, you're gonna see he does a lot of weird things. The other week I saw him doing a backflip. Again, this is 40. Now 40 is different nowadays. 40 is like the new like 25 almost, right? It's getting weird out there. And George St. Pierre is leading that pack because he still has all of his hair, right? He's got a six-pack. He's doing backflips. He's doing kicks. And people think that he can be 40 years old and jump into an MMA octagon and throw it down and probably win. So this guy, for sure, consider him a fit freak, right? So go check him out because he's just doing great things. He's also seems like a very cool, chill guy. Like a lot of people who aren't familiar with some of these athletes that are growing up now, like prior athletes used to be just ego-driven, just the worst types of people, but they still won, right? Now that is changing. Now you see more humble, athletic winners that are out there, which is great. And George St. Pierre is one of those people who is a humble person, but is also a straight savage champion, which is great. You have a savage champion who could choke you to death or knock you out to death, but he's a nice guy. so that's great. Go check him out. He's a Fit Freak of the Week. Now I got to go find a new screen recorder that's not going to crash my computer. And other than that, is this week's episode, right? Not too long. I want to keep these a little short. I want to keep it shorter than this. I'm sorry, I kind of like droned on giving you the workouts. Kind of got into this weird little trance. But yeah, trying to lose weight. Check it out. That's enough for me, right? I'm tired. Okay, if you're still listening to this, that's great. You're a real one. I'm changing it up, right? If you are still watching this, to give you a little inside scoop, I would say, is I am going to release these on Wednesday. I like releasing a podcast on Wednesday, but I got to change up my schedule because I record this on Tuesday night. It is 7:30 right now, Tuesday night. And this is like the end of my week, right? Usually tomorrow I'll take a day off, right? Because I'm done recording and all that. But there's so much that comes in before this. Before I get here, I'm at my end of my energy, right? Like Thursday, I'm at the height of my energy. So I'm going to start moving some things around, and the whole vibe of the podcast could change once I just change the day that I record it. So that's just a little inside thing, but it's for sure needs to happen because especially right at the end of the podcast, everything just hits me like, oh, you need to go to sleep. So I apologize. I'm going to switch that up. But other than that, thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Go check out the website. Join the membership program if you want. Just stay out there. Stay happy. Stay trying to get fit. And good luck. All right.